Welcome you guys. We're going to start today talking about learning target 2, which is simplify and evaluate expressions and formulas. We finished up learning target 1 today in class, and now we're moving on to learning target 2. I want you to think for a second about what does it mean to simplify, because that's what we're doing today in these notes. We're going to be simplifying some of our math. So if you see an expression similar to this, what does it mean to simplify it? So what you want to do is replace this with its simplest name. So if you were to see 17 plus 8 plus 3, how do we write that more simply? And you guys can say, oh, we can add those numbers together. 17 plus 8 is 25, plus 3 more is 28, and this is simplest form. Well, at some point, we needed to come up with rules to do that. So that's what we're going to look at today. What are those rules to simplify? Before we can do that, I want you to know some basic vocabulary. So here it's powers. So you can take this and pause for a second if you want to write down the definitions and then fill it in. And here you go. So a power has two parts. It has a base and an exponent. The base is the number here. So here the 2 is the base. Let's see if I can color code that. That's what I wrote in green. And that exponent is that higher number kind of written as a superscript. And that tells you how many times the base is used or used as a factor or multiplied by itself. Altogether, that is a power. So we want to make sure that we know those definitions and we're using good terminology as we move forward. Please pause the video and write any notes that you need to. So we need to know how to read this. So the first one, what was just used in that example, is read as 2 to the 4th power. 2 to the 4th power. The second one, you can read it as 2 different ways. It can either be written as 5 to the 2nd power, or I will usually refer to it as 5 squared. And the next one, where it says here, that is written or read 2 different ways. It can either be 7 to the 3rd power, or you can also write it as 7 cubed. Those are the 2 more popular exponents. You'll see something being squared, something being cubed, and we can either easily say 5 squared, 7 cubed. Okay, so here we see a problem, and it's the same exact problem, except one solved correctly and one solved incorrectly. As I look at this problem on the left, they just went straight from left to right as they were. So now let's do 3 plus 5 and you get 8, and then you do 8 minus 6 and you get 2, and then 2 divided by 2 and 1. And actually you can see the x here. You know this is wrong, absolutely wrong, because there's no, it's not following a specific set of rules that were kind of determined at one point that you have to follow. And actually it's over here on this right, and this is what's more correct, and it might look weird. You're like, why are they starting on the right over here, and then coming over here, and then finishing up here? Well, please come back to this problem in a little bit, and you'll see why that problem is correct. Sorry about the bell ringing. So here's what we have. We have the order of operations. And you'll see this on a poster in the classroom at the back, and it'll be up all year long for you guys to look at.
Cross country will meet in the little theater at 3:15. Come dressed and ready to run. Thank you.
I'm sorry. So the order of operations are parentheses, then exponents, then multiplying and dividing. And when you see multiplying and dividing at the same time, you always want to go from left to right in order. Doesn't matter if division is first or multiplying, you always want to go from left to right as you have both of those in the same problem. And addition and subtraction, they're equal importance, so one's not necessarily always before the other. You can just always go, again, from left to right. So we're going to try some of these properties, and it's PEMDAS is how a lot of people learned it, but it goes parentheses, then exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So here you go. I'll do the first problem, and then I'll have you pause it and try the second on your own, and then you can check your work. So this first problem here is 25 minus 8 plus 2 plus 3 squared. So the order of operations is first thing you want to do is exponents, and what that would be is you're going to do 3 squared. There's no parentheses, you're not working with anything there, so this would be a 9. I'm going to rewrite the whole line. 25 minus 8 plus 2 plus, remember 3 squared means 3 times itself, 3 times 3. And then I have addition and subtraction, and I have both in the same line. I'm going to work straight from left to right. So here I can do 25 minus 8, and on that I would have 17 plus 2 plus 9. And then I can do the next line. I only have addition left, so I'm just going to work straight across. 17 plus 2 is 19 plus 9. And on the last one, I can see that when I add those together, I get 28. So according to order of operations, that is the best way to do that, the only way to do it. Please pause this, try to do number 2 on your own, and then come back together. All right, so hopefully you just tried this problem on your own, and this should be where you are. First thing that I'm seeing is I don't have a big set of parentheses with operations to do inside of it, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do my exponent. 6 squared is 36, and then minus 14 times 3. And at this point, I have multiplication that I need to work on, so I'm leaving the beginning alone. And 14 times 3 over here, when I multiply those, are 42. And now I can work straight from left to right, and I have just addition and subtraction left, which are equal importance. So here, I'm going to add those two, and I get 68 minus 42. And then from here, when I subtract these, 68 minus 42 is 26. Hopefully you're checking your work on that as you go. Go ahead right now, and you can pause it, and you can try these 2 problems, and then come back together and see what you have. All right, so hopefully you worked on these. Here's what we're going to do. We have parentheses this time. This is different, and operations to do inside parentheses. So here, this is going to be the first thing that I do. 8 divided by 2 plus, and in here, I'm going to do this math. I'm actually going to do one step. I'm going to write this as 25. 25 minus 3 is 22. So I had 8 divided by 2 plus 22. Division comes first. I have 4 plus 22. And then I'm going to add those together, and you should have had 26. And I asked you to also do 4. And first thing we want to do is simplify what's in parentheses here. And then here you would have 8 divided by 9 minus 7 is 2, plus 13 divided by 2 is 6.5, 6.5. Now when we have this, division would go first. 8 divided by 2 is 4, plus 6.5, and then you would have 10.5. We are about 8.5 minutes into the video. What I'm going to ask is that you go ahead and do problems 5 and 6, and then bring those in, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. So we'll be starting with problems 5 and 6.